Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am back building a tiny house. I know, shocking, I never build tiny homes. That's definitely not something I do a lot of on the channel or anything. But this is a tiny home in the world of Strangerville. I was just really feeling like building in this area and I wanted to play around with doing something a little bit more modern in this sort of like trailer park area, and so that is what we are doing. I use a lot of these decorations. I'm not sure what to call them. They're not wall decorations. They're like more structural, but I put them against the wall here that came with Get Together to sort of frame out some windows. And I think this ends up being really cute in the end. It ends up being very neutral. I know right now it's got some like very harsh colors with black and white, but it ends up being way more neutral than that in the end, and just a simple 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom tiny home in the world of Strangerville. And I actually really love the outdoor space I create here, which we'll be getting to. It does still have this decking space, but I do get rid of the half wall around it, and there ends up being like some different columns, and I played around with a lot of stuff from the Debug and GeForce Objects catalog. But right now we're starting on some landscaping. I definitely wanted to use some Joshua trees and just the general landscaping that comes with Strangerville in the GeForce Objects catalog, and figuring out the decking out here. I wanted this to be a nice space for your Sims to just like hang out outside. I like to make sure there's some beautiful outdoor spaces in the tiny homes that I create, so that way there's additional space for your Sims to live, since there's not a lot of interior space, if that makes sense. I'm not sure how many tiles this ends up being. I think it's a tier 2 tiny home if I'm not mistaken. But if you would like to download it, it's a starter home. I wasn't even trying to make that happen, but this home only costs 14,638 simoleons. So your Sim can move right on in, and they're going to actually have a decent amount of money to their name still, which is really fun and exciting. If you would like to download this and hang out in it, have your Sims play in it, live in it, enjoy it for yourself, renovate it, destroy it, bulldoze it, you can find it on the Sims 4 gallery under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Miss Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. Right now I'm just focusing on the landscaping. I thought about adding this tree off on the left side of the build. I get rid of that in the end, and I'm playing around with some cacti and some more greenery that comes with Strangerville, and just trying to figure that out. And in the process of doing so is how I decide that I don't want the half wall around the porch. I want it to be a little bit more open, and I really like that decision. Also, the terrain paint does change a couple of times throughout the course of this build because it keeps disappearing, and then I also was having trouble deciding what I wanted it to look like. So, you know, indecisiveness and glitches mixed together equals a lovely time. Anyway, I also was just adding some lights on the porch, and I got some plants from GeForce Objects, like this little grass patch, which I was seeing around this area. And so added that to be a little bit more cohesive. And then I found these little columns that are like a narrow column, and I thought they looked really nice as like what could be holding up this little section instead of the columns I had before. So in each corner, I have 3. I have one in the direct corner and then like a little bit surrounding it. And then I use these little stone pathways to be like a walkway up to the porch. And then there ends up actually being a hot tub over here as well. I was very inspired by these stones, but I needed to move them quite a bit to get them to where I wanted them to be. And I just think it looks really nice. I like how structured everything is here. And I think these mimic that style that's really popular in landscaping, where it's like stones like this with turf between them. So that's kind of what I was going for. And I also wanted it to look like there was some built-in like landscaping or flower beds, that kind of thing. So I used this piece from Base Game. I didn't actually end up putting any plants on it. That's something you could definitely swap out or put some actual flower beds your Sims can use in there. But here is going to be that hot tub I had mentioned, and I end up putting an awning over it, this one from Jungle Adventure, which I think is really pretty, and I was just playing around to see if it would fit also on the porch, but decided not to do that in the end. But I like it over the hot tub, and I believe we get some string lights as well, and more cacti, and just trying to make this look like it fits into its environment, but also feels complete and like it's got enough landscaping and it's colorful but not too over the top. So, there's purple flowers and some cacti that have pink floral bits to them. So I wanted to do that. But then inside, I also really wanted to make this layout a little bit different than most tiny houses I do. I feel like I always have the kitchen along one wall. It's 4 tiles. And then the bedroom space is like sort of separate. The bathroom is a 3-tile bathroom. I did end up with a 3-tile bathroom. That didn't change. But I really like how the kitchen is more of a wraparound here, and it feels like it's more separated from the bedroom/living space. So I was pretty happy with that, and there ended up being enough space to actually have a dining table inside in the kitchen. But first I'm getting a divider here that separates the kitchen from the bedroom a little bit more. I used a half wall and combined it with this piece from Get Famous. I thought it looked really nice. And then we're just figuring out some cabinetry in here. I ended up using base game cabinets, but the counters themselves are from Dream Home Decorator, as is the countertop oven, which is what we have in here. And then I'm using a mini fridge, so I could fit in more things within a small space. And your Sims can go ahead and prep things on that corner counter. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of that, because I know sometimes they'll get comments about it, but your Sims can actually cook and prep food on corner pieces of counters. They can't on the smaller pieces, so where I have the cacti in the kitchen, they can't prep on that, but on a corner piece they can. But then in here, this is where I'm going to be putting that table over in the corner. I also got some curtains in here. And I was just trying to make it look really cozy and also fit the style that I was going for, and having a little bit more of muted colors, but also have a little bit of color in here. So obviously we have a fun tile in here as our backsplash, and I also added a cutting board in here because I really like adding those to builds. I feel like it adds a lot of personality to the space, and it doesn't take up a slot on a surface, so that's always nice. And then just got some fresh fruit as well. And then we're moving on into the bedroom space. I used this fluffy rug from Snowy Escape, and we also got a mirror over here as well. There's also a dresser underneath the bed. I feel like this could also be a good spot for a desk with a computer, but I opted for a dresser in this particular build. But that would be an easy thing to swap out if you decided to change it and renovate it for yourself. And I just got some clutter up there. So we have a hair set. I don't know why I always can't remember the name of a blow dryer, but a blow dryer and all of that. And then this is the 3x1 bathroom. It's pretty simple. It's what I do in all of my 3x1 bathrooms, but I'm just so glad that we have these and they can be functional thanks to not only the shower from university, but there's also one from Snowy Escape. I just don't use that one as often because I don't want the little mirror to be with it. So I tend to use the one from university instead. But that's pretty much it for the interior of this build, and pretty much it for the build in general. We're just getting some finishing touches, like a trash can outside so your Sims have everything they need. And then we'll be heading on into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That really does help me out. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.